Hare Krishna, thank you for joining. Let's make a start. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha, Jayo Giravardhari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha, Jayo Giravardhari. Shodanandana Vraj Jana Ranjana, Shodanandana Vraj Jana Ranjana, Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutle Swam Rupa Kadamayam Tatati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatamitam Tam Sadiyum Sadvetam Savadutam Prishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantarata Kant Namastate Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pranmami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatu Brihascha Kirpa Sindhuvevacha Patitana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthabhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasti Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangam Layate Gri Yat Kirpatam Mandashi Kundin Taranam Paramananda Madham Shitaneshram Hariam Tassat Naram Namaskritya Naram Cheva Naruttamam Devim Sasvyasam Tato Jamaduriyat Nasta Preshabdureshu Nitam Bhagavata-Sevayā Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Neshtiki. Okay. Hare Krishna everyone, thank you for joining. Let's carry on. We nearly finished this chapter. Next Wednesday will be the overview. So now we are. So last time we were talking about when Nard Muni told, discussing the whereabouts of Dhritarashtra and what he's doing to relieve the relief of Yudhishthira Maharaj. So he's like, they're just speculating what might have happened and how they're surviving, what are they eating, like that, and he's blind. How is he coping? So there's a lot going on through in his mind. So Narad Muni is always there to relieve the distress of the devotees, and he tells them that just imagine that you hear somebody now who's not like a naughty child, and then you hear, oh, he's doing really well, he's running a big business, or he's doing that now, or he's doing a degree in something, like in our layman's terms. So he's telling, oh, Dishtar, Maharaj Dishtar, he's meditating, he's doing Ashtanga Yoga, he's eating fruits and berries, and so don't worry about him, he's a totally different person. So that's like big relief to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And Ashtanga Yoga is a very difficult process, and luckily we are in the Kali Yuga just asked to chant to achieve the same results just by chanting. So let's continue. 54. Okay. Right, 54. Jitasano jit shavasha pratiharita shad indriya hari bhavana ya dhavasta rajaha satvatamo malaha. So jit asana, one who has controlled the sitting posture. Jit shavasaha, one who has controlled the breathing process. Pratharita, turning back. Shat, 6. Indriya, senses. Hari, the absolute personality Godhead. Bhavanaya, absorbed in. Dvasta, conquered. Rajaha, passion. Sattva, goodness. Tama, ignorance. Malaha, contaminations. So one who has controlled the sitting postures, which is the yogic asanas, and the breathing process, can turn the senses toward the absolute personality Godhead, and thus become immune to the contaminations of the modes of material nature, namely mundane, goodness, passion, and ignorance. So all these things, the 9 processes, or rather the 8 processes, so 8 processes, they have different effects on you. The preliminary activities of the way of yoga are asana, pranayam, pratyahara, dhyan, dharan, etc. Obviously there's yam and niyam before that. Maharaj Dhritarashtra was to attain success in those preliminary actions because he was seated in a sanctified place and was concentrating upon one objective, namely the Supreme Personality Godhead, Hari. Thus all his senses were being engaged in the service of the Lord. This process directly helps the devotee to get freedom from the contaminations of the 3 modes of nature. Even the highest mode, the material mode of goodness, is also a cause of material bondage, as we have mentioned so many times. And what to speak of other qualities, namely passion and ignorance. Passion and ignorance very dangerous, because passion is the neighbor of ignorance and can very easily lead to our ignorance. So we have to keep away from ignorance and go into goodness as soon as possible. Passion and ignorance increase the material propensities of hankering for material enjoyment, and a strong sense of lust provokes the accumulation of wealth and power. This thing, lust, so in the mode of passion, you are hankering for things. That's like, that's lust. You're hankering for things. And when you don't achieve them, you can easily fall into the mode of ignorance, whereas, there's anger involved and bewilderment involved, and you might do things, you break the law because you're trying to achieve something that you're not getting. So ignorance and passion are very, very close. There's like a very thin line between passion and ignorance if you're not careful. So passion and ignorance increase the material propensities of hankering for material enjoyment, and a strong sense of lust provokes the accumulation of wealth and power. One who has conquered these two base mentalities, so they consider the base mentalities, and has raised himself to the platform of goodness, which is full of knowledge and morality, cannot also control the senses, namely the eyes, the tongue, the nose, the ear, and touch. Okay. So, but one who has surrendered himself onto the lotus feet of Lord Hari, as above mentioned, can transcend all influences of the modes of material nature and be fixed in the service of the Lord. The Bhakti Yoga process, therefore, directly applies the senses to the loving service of the Lord. This prohibits the performer from engaging in material activities. This process of turning the senses from material attachment to a loving service of the Lord is called Pratyahara. So we're doing all this. We're doing the Ashtanga Yoga process in a different way, time, place, and circumstance. The principle is the same, only the detail has changed. The principle should never change. The principles are given in the Vedas, in the Upanishads. They are giving us principles to do, but by time and circumstance, the details can change. Principle always same. This is why the Shastras never out of date, because the principles are the same. Just the detail according to our body, excuse me, and our health, how much lifetime we have, they have to change. We don't have that 1,000 years of life or 10,000 years of life. With maximum, if you're lucky, you get 100 years, and you might even get a card from the king, congratulating you that you lived 100 years. At least another queen used to send. I don't know if they still continue the process, but that's all we have. We don't have much time, so we've got to make the most of what we have. And the very process is called pranayam, ultimately ending in samadhi. That's the final process, or absorption in pleasing the Supreme Lord Hari by all means. So it's all there, just a different detail. So that's 54. Excuse me. As long as we are acting through the modes, we will not see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We can rise above the modes once we are Krishna conscious. When one has turned the body, mind in the thoughts of Krishna, and you find that some of the things that we're really attached to, that we really enjoy doing, and we thought like we could not live without. Once you come to Krishna consciousness, we no longer see them as important anymore. The foods we may eat, the clothes we may wear, the places we visit. At one time they were like center of our lives, but now they just seem irrelevant because we found a higher taste. This seems more important now. Okay, so it is a process of learning to we can, when all our senses and mind, which thinks and wills, is engaged in Krishna, and when that absorption becomes intensified, becomes focused and concentrated, then that means absorption in trance. That is the objective. We need to be addicted to Krishna. So we're still finding that we are, pulled to material things that were there before we started Krishna consciousness and still there. Then we just need to work a little bit more in absorbing ourselves into Krishna, into our chanting, improving our chanting, serving Krishna, serving our deities, making a connection with our deities. Like that. Once you do that, eating prasad most of the time, as much as you can. Sometimes you cannot avoid it. that we have to eat out, but as much as you can, we should be offering the food and eating prasad only. So just as the yoga process involves different stages of ultimately absorption in the Supreme Personality Godhead, the process of bhakti yoga, which we are doing, is to be ultimately fully engaged in the loving service of the Lord. Now, it's not that one has to give up one's responsibilities, that one may have to achieve this platform. But one engaging in one's responsibilities, like Yudhishthira, Maharaj was engaging in his own responsibilities and has been educated with all the right perspective to see things around you, how you also need to deal. One performs his duties and responsibilities, understanding how it relates to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For example, one may be raising children. Srila Prabhupada said we should see our children as Krishna's gift. So everything can be used in Krishna's service. To raise them in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, if we are raising children with that consciousness that Krishna has given us the service to raise the children in Krishna consciousness, then that activity of raising children becomes Krishna conscious. So this Srila Prabhupada has given us this beautiful process. He said everything is Krishna conscious. It's about our consciousness. How we are doing things. What are we raising? What are we achieving? Everything can be used in Krishna's service. A house is a temple. The food we cook is prasad. Our children are a gift. Our family is a gift which we try to make, help them. They're all jivas, no matter what color we are. We're all jivas and we are part of Krishna and we need to be Krishna conscious. As simple as that. So text 55. Vigyānatmani samyojasya kshetragne parivilapya tam brahmani atmanam ahadare gatambaram ivam bare. So Vijnanan, purified identity. Atmani, in intelligence. Samyojya, of perfectly fixing. Kshetragne, in the matter of the living being. Pravilapya, merging. Tamhi, Brahmani, in the supreme. Atmanam, pure living being. Adhare, in the reservoir. Gat Ambaram, sky within the block. Eva like Ambare, in the supreme sky. So Dhritarashtra will have to amalgamate his pure identity with intelligence and then merge into the Supreme Being with the knowledge of his qualitative oneness as a living entity with the Supreme Brahman. Being freed from the blocked sky, he will have to rise to the spiritual sky. So being with knowledge with Supreme merge into the Supreme Being with the knowledge of qualitative oneness. Okay, we can talk about that. The living being, by his desiring to lord it over the material world and declining to cooperate with the Supreme Lord, contacts the sum total of the material world, namely the Mahatattva. And from the Mahatattva, his false identity with the material world, intelligence, mind and senses is developed. This covers his pure spiritual identity. By the yogic process, when his pure identity is realized in self-realization, one has to revert into the original position by amalgamating the five gross elements and the subtle elements, mind and intelligence, into the Mahatattva again, thus getting freed from the clutches of the Mahatattva. He has to merge in the existence of the Super Soul. In other words, he has to realize that qualitatively he is none different from the Super Soul, and thus he transcends the material sky by his pure identical intelligence and thus become engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. This is the highest perfectional development of spiritual identity, which was attained by Dhritarashtra by the grace of Vidur and the Lord. The Lord's mercy was bestowed upon him by his personal contact with Vidur, and when he was actually practicing the instructions of Vidur, the Lord helped him to attain the highest perfectional stage. So there's two types of preaching. There's spontaneous preaching, and there is something called the bal preaching, udapati, bal, udapati. So in the case of Dhritarashtra, he got bal udapati, or forced preaching. He had, with power. So Vidur had to push him by preaching, convince him. And most of us, we need bal preaching to convince us of Krishna consciousness. Especially, now we say that, don't force your family into, but maybe in a subtle way, or some disguised way, we can convince people the importance of this process. Whereas spontaneous preaching was like Narad Muni. He was just hearing the sages discussing about Krishna consciousness, and he got it. He understood it even as a 5-year-old. Just shows you don't have to be like grown up, a mature adult to understand Krishna consciousness. Even a 5-year-old can understand. What's that child's name? Who goes around singing? You'll see on the YouTube. Bhakta-Bhāgavatam. Just this young child, he's going on preaching to everyone. Right? He's telling everybody about Krishna consciousness. You don't have to be Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Bhagat. They got it such a young age. So no need to wait for old life to do bhakti. It can start at any time. Spontaneous bhakti and sometimes bal bhakti. Whatever it takes, use it. So a pure devotee of the Lord does not live on any planet of the material sky, nor does he feel any contact with material elements. His so-called material body does not exist. Being such charged with the spiritual current of the Lord's identical interest, and thus he is permanently freed from all contaminations of the sum total of Mat Tattva. He is always in the spiritual sky, which he attains by being transcendental to the sevenfold material coverings by the effect of his devotional service. The conditioned souls are within the coverings, whereas the liberated souls are far beyond the cover. Okay, let's see if we have anything here. 55. Okay. So Narad Muni is telling that he's gone there to perform his yoga practice, to perfect his life. So you don't need to worry about his final rites. So there's that as well. Like his uncle's gone, and who's going to do his final rites if he passes away? So he says you don't have to worry about his final rites because he's going to amalgamate himself. So just let go. Don't keep any attachments. So he said he's not going to come. He's not going to come back anyway. So you don't have to worry about his final rites. He's going to amalgamate himself. So I think, from what I understand, is this here. He's going to get liberated in the Supreme Brahman. He will not go to Vaikuntha, Dhritarashtra. And it's not because of everything that happened. It wasn't just for that. The reason was that he was still envy. He still had envy. Even though he got this far, he was still envious of the Pandavas. He could not give up that envy even till the end. That's why because of the envy he had, he could not go back to the board of the Lord. I think he just got amalgamated in the Supreme Brahman. So, and we have to give up envy. We cannot, especially with devotees, we cannot be envious. We wanted to lord over material nature. We want to become masters, proprietors of material energy. We want to enjoy material energy. We also refuse to cooperate with Krishna. In the spiritual world, Krishna is the center and everyone else is serving Krishna. Now, if you got envy, when you go to Vaikuntha or Goloka, you'll carry that envy with you. And we can't have that, because you'll be like, you're giving your boarding pass straight back, right? Just go back, because there's no room for envy. There's no envy in the spiritual world. So anybody bringing envy with them, they can't be allowed. It's like, carrying a disease. You're not allowed. You got like COVID, they won't allow you into their country. So it's like that. They send you straight back because you cannot come in with envy. So it ultimately ends in frustration, because everyone else who also wants to be the center, that should lead to the conclusion that there is ultimately one supreme enjoyer, and that is Krishna only. And we will envy him. That doesn't mean that in the spiritual world only Krishna enjoys. Everything in the spiritual world is a manifestation of Krishna. When Krishna enjoys, his manifestation also enjoys. We are part of him. We enjoy with him. So when we talk about giving pleasure to Krishna, it also means giving pleasure to every other expansion and energy of Krishna. It's not like only Krishna gets pleasure, everyone else gets pleasure as well. So going back to spiritual world, we need to understand that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. I need to cooperate with the Supreme Lord. Bhakti is about doing what Krishna wants. We know what he wants through what Srila Prabhupada wants. For example, Srila Prabhupada says when you come to temple, you bow down. So if we follow that, that is cooperating with Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. You might say that that's a very simple thing, but a lot of people even refuse to bow down. Now this way, the original anartha of not cooperating with the Lord, which brought us to the material world, is now turning. When we chant, we are also cooperating with Krishna's desire, Mahaprabhu's desire, Srila Prabhupada's desire. So like that, we are counteracting with lording it over material nature and lack of cooperation. So this is very interesting, isn't it? Because we're just talking that we had our own desires, we had material desires somehow, and that we ended up here. But we don't talk about the lack of cooperation. We start cooperating with Krishna, what he wants or his enjoyment. So then we don't need to be there. We don't need to be in the spiritual world when we're not becoming a part of it. We outcasted ourselves. So we have no one else to blame. Devastamaya gunodar ko nirud karanashaya nivartita khila hara aste sthanu iva chalaha tasyantarayo maiva behu sannyasata khila karmanaha. So devasta, being destroyed, mayagun, the modes of material nature, udar kaha, after effects, nirud, being suspended, karan ashaya, the senses and the mind, nivartita, stopped, akhil, all, araha, food for the senses, aste is sitting, sthanhu immovable, eva like, achala fixed, tasya his, antrayaha hindrances, ma eva never like that, abhu be, sannyasta renounced, akhila all sorts, karmanaha material duties. He will have to suspend all the actions of the senses, even from the outside, and will have to impervious to interactions of the senses, which are influenced by the modes of material nature. After renouncing all material duties, he must become immovably established beyond all sources of hindrances on the path. If you think about Dhritarashtra, if he hadn't done this, if his brother hadn't helped him, he would have gone to hell for sure. So saved him from going to hell. Amazing. So Dhritarashtra attained By the yogic process, the stage of negation of all sorts of material reaction, the effects of the material modes of nature draw the victim to indefatigable desires of enjoying matter. But one can escape such false enjoyment by the yogic process. Every sense is always busy in searching for its food, and thus the conditioned soul is assaulted from all sides and has no chance to become steady in any pursuit. Maridishta was advised by Narad not to disturb his uncle by attempting to bring him back. That would be terrible. Then he will definitely go back. He will go to hell. If Yudhishthira is just very emotional, tries to bring him back, that would be detrimental, very detrimental. He was now beyond the attraction of anything material. The material modes of nature, the gunas, have their different modes of activities. But above the material modes of nature is a spiritual mode, which is absolute. Nirgun means without reaction. The spiritual mode and its effects are identical. Therefore, spiritual quality is distinguished from its material counterpart by the word nirgun. After complete suspension of the material modes of nature, one is admitted to the spiritual sphere. An action dictated by the spiritual mode is called devotional service or bhakti. Bhakti is therefore nirgun, attained by direct contact with the absolute. So nirgun means no modes of nature. It's above them. So that's 56. Let's see. So senses have their own food. We are eating from our eyes, from our ears and nose. So what we see is considered food for the eyes. What we hear is considered food for the ears. And what we think even is food for thought, isn't it? We say. Qualitatively, we are one with Supreme Personality Godhead, Dhritarashtra, and had received the stage of Brahman realization. This is not the goal of the devotee, it's the goal of the impersonalist. Vidur wanted Dhritarashtra to become a Paramahansa, but he couldn't and settled for becoming Dhira. It's not the best, but it's on the right direction. Krishna consciousness is the highest at its best. Therefore, we transcend the Brahman realization and the Paramatma realization straight onto Bhagwan realization simply by practicing bhakti. So, still commendable for Dhritarashtra to turn his life 180 degrees for where he was to get the Brahman realization. Not an easy task to achieve, but at least he did not end up in hell. That was the most important thing. So he will probably be in Brahman, and then he might come back to this world again, probably here somewhere, that's the particular entity, that soul, come back to, unless he has another Vidur to help him to go back to, to Krishna, to Vaikuntha or Goloka. Okay. And finally, just quickly to this one. Sava adyatanat rajan prataha chmehani kalevaram hayasyati swam tascha basmi vivashyati sahi va. In all probability, adya today, tanat from Rajan, O king, prataha ahead, panchame on the 5th, ahani day, kalevaram body, hasayati shall quit, som is on, that cha also, basmi ashes, vivashati will turn into. Excuse me. O king, he will quit his body. So Narad Muni knows everything, it's in the future. Most probably on the 5th day from today, and his body will turn to ashes. So looks like Narad Muni came a long time after Dhritarashtra had left. So Narad Muni's prophecy prohibited Yudhishthira Maharaj from going to the place where his uncle was staying, because even after quitting the body by his own mystic power, Dhritarashtra would not be in need of any funeral ceremony, Narada Muni indicated that his body by itself would burn to ashes. The perfection of the yoga system is attained by such mystic power. The yogi is able to quit his body by his own choice of time and can attain any planet he desires by turning the present body into ashes by self-made fire. So 57, to add something. So depending on who guides them, the yogis are able to transcend to the higher levels. If a pure devotee guides a yogi, then he is able to achieve the highest destination. But if his teacher is from a low level and not coming directly from Goloka Vrindavan and on a lower level, then that's the level they will achieve, because a guru cannot give you more than he has himself. So Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagwan level. Srila Prabhupada is Bhagwan level. We are not interested in Brahmjyoti or Vaikuntha. We are only interested in Goloka Vrindavan on the path of bhakti. So you get, according to what you are, who is teaching you. Well, I mean, in the case of Dhritarashtra, he was very old, he was blind, he had a lot of health issues as well, and mental issues by the sound of it as well. He was still, and Narada Muni helped him, Vidur helped him much as he could, but if he's like refusing to give up his enviness, then what can you do? If you're attached so much to something, nobody can make you do something. They can only advise you, even it's like from Bal preaching, they can advise you, but the effort has to be made from your own end. It's like a psychiatrist or a psychotherapist. They can give you all the advice, do this, do that. But they say that the person who they are advising, they have to make the effort. We can only do so much. The effort has to come from the other side. So like that. So a teacher could be the best, of God, like Prabhupada. He's from Bhagwan realization. But how many of us can confidently say that we'll go back to Goloka Vrindavan? We can't, we're lucky if we get out of this place, at all. So, yeah, the teacher can be great, but then student has to be great as well. So thank you so much. And let's share some realizations. We'll start with Hina Mataji today. Time's getting on a bit. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you so much. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. These are very nice verses about Dhritarashtra's departure, really final time, really on the earth, and he was concentrating his attention on the Lord through. And I think there's reference to yoga and asana and pranayama. It's almost like these are preliminary steps. Whereas at the highest stages, there's bhakti yoga, which is about connecting to the Lord. So, and pleasing him and serving him. And the verses go on to explain how at the time of death, and during life, the preparation is to strive to, throughout life as well, we should be preparing for death, and we should be trying to strive to give up our false identity, which is outlined in verse 54. I guess this explains what he's trying to do, and letting go of our attachments to the body, letting go of our bodily relationships, etc., trying to remember our actual position, which is that we are a servant, we're a servant of the Lord, we're a spirit soul. And we're blessed that we have an opportunity to try to almost practice our, preparing for our death. Death, as we mentioned quite a lot through our Srila Prabhupada scriptures, that death is the exam, life is the preparation towards that, and trying to let go of our false identity. And I think that does, like you said at the beginning, Prabhu, that does come very much when we've got that higher taste, and then we can start naturally. We can see that we start to let go of the more materialistic desires automatically. So yeah, I think for me it's almost like it just helps to kind of refocus a little bit. Well, that's what I'm here trying to do. I have to try still make sure I'm trying to eat every day, trying to prepare myself for death, which is what these verses are covering. So thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mata. Yeah, I'm just thinking a lot of people give up smoking and drinking alcohol, eating, meat, which at one time they probably couldn't live without. They have their choice of meats. I remember somebody saying they're addicted to KFC, like that. Some may be addicted to McDonald's and or other curries and things. And you give them all up, and people smoke. They can't live without smoking. As soon as they wake up out of bed, they need to have a cigarette. And last thing at night, some fall asleep while smoking, and then others need to drink and come to KC. That those things are not important anymore. It's not that the taste hasn't gone. The taste is not important anymore. That's the amazing thing. Thank you, Mataji. Pundrikaksh Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All to Srila Prabhupada. I like the statement of bulk preaching, Prabhuji. Like, if one is not able to understand the instructions, then at least force him to understand the instructions. Vidura has done that.
Can't hear you too well.
Okay, can you hear me now, Prabhuji? Now
I can hear you, but it's not very loud.
it's not loud. Even now?
If you speak, then it might be okay.
Okay. I mean, I like the statement of bulk preaching. If somebody is not getting instructions, even after saying for many years, then forcible instructions would be good enough. And Vidura has given that. And like Dhritarashtra, for the last 50 lifetimes, he has been very pure. Like, he has been pious. That's why I think he got birth in such a family where Vidura is there, Bhishma is there, Dronacharya is there. He's so fortunate to have this kind of life, but he got distracted again. But Vidura make sure he brought him back. And as you said, like, it may not be like when Narada Muni said in 5 more days he is going to leave the body. That may not be just 5 days, but it might be after many years of yoga practice. And Prabhupada also mentioned about oneness again in this one. Oneness doesn't mean that merging into the Lord, but working according to the Lord instructions or in agreement with the Lord. And one who is situated in that kind of platform, they will not be troubled by this material miseries. That's what we have seen, like Srila Prabhupada, Jayapatak Swami Maharaj, in fact my Gurudev. They had problems, physical issues, but still we never see them like they are facing any troubles because of those material miseries. And Nirguna means not that they not have any guna, but not affected by the 3 gunas. And being Brahmana is the highest, considered to be highest, but Brahmana means being in the mode of goodness. But even we have to, one day we have to raise even beyond that, which is in Visuddha Sattva, which is mode of bhakti. And in that bhakti, you engage all your senses for the pleasure of the Lord. So ideally we will not find any other time to spend activities in material. So like we have to do a lot. Like we have to do our study, we have to do our sadhana, we have to do preaching. Preaching allows us to actually understand more better rather than making others to understand. So when you engage in all these kind of things, you don't find any other time to do any material activity. So that's why engage all your senses for the pleasure of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Absolutely. Kiran Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Excuse me. Wow. The Shastras are timeless, never out of date. And the example of Vidur to his brother is an example that we should learn, that the association of devotees, our brothers and sisters, our God brothers and sisters, are our salvation as well. For they are our greatest well-wishers. As Krishna is everybody's greatest well-wisher, the devotees are each other's greatest well-wishers. Vidur was the greatest well-wisher for his brother who had gone off the beaten track, as it were. And Yudhishthira was again such a connected person that he was, in spite of whatever the brothers, the Pandavas experienced, he was still Dhritarashtra's well-wisher. He was concerned for his well-being. He was concerned, is he okay? Are they surviving in the hills and the mountains? Are they eating well? Etc., etc. And that should be the compassion we should have for everybody that comes into our existence, our realms, our field of vision. We should be their well-wishers as well. And this is what Shastra teaches us, those modes of goodness. And to transcend those modes of passion and ignorance to becoming a nirguna is the path of bhakti yoga, far greater than Astanga yoga. However, keep practicing the chanting, the worshipping, the devotion, the remembering, the hearing, and serving. That will take you on that path to transcendental liberation. Absorb yourself in Krishna consciousness. It's the highest of the highest of the highest taste. There is no amrut sweeter than that which is defined in the Shastras. Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Chamrita is part of that amrut. And as long as we continue to relish that amrut, we can be free of material contamination. All that is given to us is a gift. The gift of Lakshmi, your wife, wealth, the gift of children. They can become the future of the Krishna movement. Imbibe, instill, indoctrinate with compassion those values of human values which are positive. Your home as a temple, your food as prasad. That covers all the bases. If you can have all those things in your life, then you are already a transcendentalist. You're already a living Mahatma, an Atma which is already preparing to merge with the Paramatma. We don't have to be forced to have this knowledge, because it can be either given to you spontaneously when it's necessary, but we have come to this knowledge as willing participants to engage in such mellows. This is the path of pure bhakti, not contaminated, but of course we live in the material world which is full of contaminations. And the continual absorption will take us to the right path. The continued efforts to renounce envy, anger, passion, and the highest of all, the biggest demon, ego, is one that will always haunt us for a long, long time until we make our peace with divinity. Bhakti is the only way, the way to Nirguna, pure, divine devotion the highest, higher than any other destination is available. Continue to study, be the student of your Guru and your Shastra, and the triangulation is complete. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ravi. Yeah, so we have to be careful. We don't want to merge in anything. We don't want to merge in the Brahman or Paramatma. We want to have a relationship with the Bhagwan. That's the highest position. Yogis want to merge in Paramatma, but we are devotees, Vaishnavas, and we want the highest position. And we have to work on our self-identity. So, Srila Prabhupada's books, they have told us or informed us that we are a spirit soul, not this body or mind. And they've also told us we are not just spirit souls, we are servants of the Lord. So we're getting close to our self-identity. So we are spirit soul, we are servants of, and then we have, further than that, is that we have a relationship with Krishna. This is what Mahaprabhu told us. Nobody went as far as that. Mahaprabhu says, yes, we are we're not just spirit souls, we're not just servants, we have a relationship. Although each relationship relates to being a servant. In any relationship, even in a lover, there is service involved. There is no relationship if there is no service. Every relationship has to have the word servant. Whether you are servant, a friend servant, parent servant, lover servant, each one is a servant. We have to eventually get to the point that which servant are we? Are we lover servant, parent servant, friend servant, servant servant? When we understand that, then we have to understand, so what are we doing in that relationship in relation to our identity? So that should be our focus, the finding our identity, closest we can. Get close to it as we can, and we're still a servant. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Praveen Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Pranam. Yes, again, bhakti is glorified. So we're given this human life, which is the best form, and we are born in this like golden time. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he's given us, and by chanting, we have to purify our life and attain the goal, And we are very fortunate by mercy of Krishna and the devotees. We are trying to follow this path. And like Ambarish Maharaj, we have to engage all our senses in the service of the Lord. And chanting, listening to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So there are so many examples in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam which are teaching us how to live our life, how to detach from this material life and attach to Krishna in his service. And by doing all this, I think we, get rid of all our vices as well, because then we understand what is the most important thing in life. And these things, they seem petty. So it helps us to rise above all these vices. So thank you so much again, Prabhuji, for engaging us in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And let's pray to Krishna that we can sincerely chant. And chanting is still, although it is easy, we can do it anywhere. But sometimes it still feels like a challenge when the mind is drifting. But at the same time, it's mercy of Krishna. We are still getting purified. So it is helping us to, move forward on this path. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mata. Yeah. Now, thing with the mind is not designed or programmed to focus on Krishna. That's one thing we have to understand, that it's not natural, it's not automatic for this material mind to focus on Krishna. So I don't think any of us should be worried about that. But like we always discuss we all say, male or female, we cannot focus on our chanting. Really, mind wants to just run away. So Krishna understands that because he knows what he has given us. He's probably laughing at us, trying to deal with a mind which is like a rebellious child. Krishna has a laugh every morning. He has a sense of humor. He laughs when we try to hold this child and he's like screaming and shouting, pulling like a child does, right? You're trying to get a child to do something. So the mind does not want to do this. But Krishna enjoys our endeavor. Every morning we're wrestling with the mind. Like Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur said that we should, whack the mind with a broom every morning and evening. That's what he's saying, that this mind is very like a naughty child, and you really need to restrain it, and not recommending that you hit your children with a broom or anything. Just just an example. And so yeah, it's not meant to cooperate with us, but it's Krishna looks at our endeavor. That we pull it back. He tries to run away. We pull it back. Like that. That's the idea. That's the broom basically. That we're bringing it back. We're forcing it back. That's what Krishna wants to see. That we're trying to get it back, not just let it drift away, and we enjoy that drifting away. What I was thinking about now, some material thing, and we are dwelling on it. Then that is wrong. But drifting away is allowed because that's what the mind does best. It's stronger than us. It drifts away, but we don't let it dwell. We bring it back against. That we have a control over. It goes away from us. We don't always have control because, like Arjun says, mind is like the wind. It's unstoppable. Even Arjun had problem with the mind. But if we dwell on it, then it's our fault, right? So going away is not our fault. Just letting it drift away and then please itself, and we gratify on whatever we're thinking about. That is not conducive. But we bring it back. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for reassurance. But it's my ears, they get punished because I always pull my ear then thinking, what are you doing?
It's not easy, not easy at all. Sometimes you might think, if we had 8 rounds or 4 rounds, we could do better. But I can tell you, it would not be any better if it was just 1 round. It would not be any better.
Even with 1 round, because then I always say, okay, just 1 round, no thoughts, but nah.
No, it's not.
By the time you're finishing, you realize, no, you had a few thoughts, in that round as well. So,
Exactly. That's the thing. Thank you. And thank you, Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you to Anjali, Mataji, and Suresh Prabhu for joining as well. And we're on to Radharani.
Hare Krishna, everyone. My pranams to all of you. Yes, we have to just endeavor. Okay, this endeavoring is in our hands. This is what I have understood till now. Nothing else is in our hands. We think that, we can perfect this, we can perfect that. What we can perfect? You can perfect, even in material life, you can perfect something for 1 day, and next day, that perfection is nothing. You have to start from scratch. You, like they say in even material world, you can't sit on your laurels. So in bhakti also, the formula is same, the principle is same, endeavor till the last breath. And Krishna says, give me everything, your mind, your efforts, and even the result he wants us to give it to him. So whatever we are doing, just give it to him. Stop complaining. This is what I keep telling my mind. This is what I keep telling myself. And I'm sure that all of you also say that to yourself, that stop complaining, just do it. Even the big companies have made this logo. I think this is from Bhagavad Gita as well. Just do it. So we have to just do it. The doing is also not us. The doing is also Krishna. So we should be actually thanking Krishna every day. Listening to all of you, I was thinking that yes, we have to thank Krishna that he has given us the opportunity of doing this. many of others in this world haven't even got this opportunity, haven't been given this adhikar to do the bhakti, to listen, to perform. At least we have been given the status, the opportunity, the special privilege by Krishna. So instead of complaining, let's do this in the new year. Stop complaining, even in our words, because I think they say even in the material world they say whatever you say manifests. So just thank Krishna for giving us the opportunity, and look how this culminates. These verses have told us so beautifully that Dhritarashtra, he was not at all made like that he would be doing anything nice in his life, the way his life was going, the way his circumstances were. And look, due to something from his past life, he got the opportunity of having his illustrious brother Vidur. Then he had Narad Muni coming, then he had Krishna himself there. So we have also done something that we are able to sit and like all of you, I also complain to my mind. I also wrestle with Krishna in my thoughts that, Krishna, what is this? You want us to do bhakti. But the more and more we discuss these things, and the more and more we are reading Bhagavatam, it's getting so clear to me that just do it. Don't worry for anything. Just try to visualize the end result. Even if it is after many, many births, many, many lives, that yes, we'll be serving Krishna. If we have that visualization in our heads, then I think everything will be fine. They say journey is more enjoyable than reaching the goal. But we know that when we would have reached the goal, we would have forgotten all these material miseries. Anyway, we will be in our spiritual bodies by then. But the character of Dhritarashtra, now it comes to my understanding that why is he so important. He is there to teach the biggest lesson to the jivas of this material world, that no matter what, no matter how many sins you have done, no matter how many bad thoughts you had, bad qualities you have nurtured in yourself, if you are meant to, you will be given an opportunity by the Lord to transcend this material life, and this is all bhakti is all about. That we have to keep trying to perfect our timings as the athletes. They keep perfecting their timings in running for 100 meters, or the nanoseconds are so important in their competition. And similarly, everything is important. Us doing our sadhana daily, day after day, is so important. It's all getting accumulated in our spiritual bank account. We don't know, we don't see it as we should, but it is very important. Like everything else in material life, I think why we're complaining, just the thought came to me that every day we wake up in the morning, we know we have to do so many tasks, we go through them, and the night comes, then we rest, and another day, another morning. Even if for eating we have to make an endeavor, the food is there. If we don't eat it, it's not going to give us strength. It has to be chewed properly. It has to be taken in. There's a process to it. So everything is like that. So why we are always so much worried for our sadhana part? It has to be done every day till the breaths are there. Our only prayer should be there that, Krishna, don't take this adhikar from me in my life. No matter how difficult time comes on me, whether it's health wise or in any sort of circumstance, please keep giving me this adhikar, this, what should we say for adhikar in English? I can't think of the word.
Right.
The right, yes. Don't take this,
Facility.
my birthright. You know, this is like my birthright, that yes, if I have been given the birth in this human body, I should be given the opportunity to redeem myself as well. So this is what I've learned from these verses in this chapter. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. But we also have to same time understand that, you know, we try and if we feel that we're not progressing, because there's two sides to this. There's our endeavor, and we also need the mercy. So if we
mercy will come with
if
endeavor.
you're really trying, it doesn't automatically come. So if we're trying hard and we're not progressing, we're stuck somewhere, then we have to pray for the mercy, because
Mercy, yes.
you know, we can't. Our endeavor doesn't necessarily end in mercy. Krishna decides if he will give us the mercy. So we have to. So which means, because if our endeavor resulted in mercy, then we'll be proud. Look how well I've done, that Krishna had given me his mercy. Now Krishna will give his mercy. You know, like say every week, his Savarat is completely independent to do whatever he wants. He will give his mercy if he wants to, not that we can make him give his mercy, you know, by our efforts. Our efforts are nothing. You know, our efforts are not enough to convince Krishna. It's his mercy that he gives, you know, independently out of his own choice. Feel sorry for us, so useless. I'll just give it to them. So like that. So yeah, we just do the endeavor, best of ability, and then beg for the mercy, with humility, and the mercy will definitely come. Because he is in a prayerful mood. Because Krishna, he does not look at. He's unlimitedly patient, tolerant. He does not look at that. He doesn't say, "Oh, that this is your last chance. You don't get this right in this life. That's it. I'm not going to bother with you again. You are like finished. You're stuck here forever." He doesn't do that. He's been helping us for millions of lives. He's Paramatma in the heart. Even as an animal, he stays with us, guides us all the everywhere. Helps us through. He stay with us. He says, "Okay, you do your nonsense. I'll be here when you need me." Nice, that merciful. Thank you so much, everyone. Sorry taking your time.
Yeah, I was just thinking, the word lolium, like it's the greed in the spiritual sense. So I think that's what Krishna's given us, because I think we are very greedy. So then that is the only way we can progress as well. So that is coming from him as well. And he's saying, yeah, you're not doing, this is not right, this is not right. So which is a good thing to have. So rather than thinking, oh yes, I'm doing my chanting, yeah, this is good enough. So I think we have to have this feeling that yes, this is not good enough. So we need to get better and better.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you all, and we'll catch up on Monday, and then Wednesday we'll have the overview. Wednesday evening. Thank you so much. Hari Hari Bol, Gantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Study. Gaur Prem Nande. Hari
Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.